Greetings to the DMV and beyond. This is our 6th annual Annapolis Local Organizing Committee Black History Program. Our first actual virtual. We thank you for all that are viewing at this particular time. Be sure to share. We want as many people to come on as possible because we believe that there's two components of education, and that's information and inspiration. And we have a panel of experience and insight that will give us both. So we ask that all share because this information is most vital. And of course, our title is Black History 365 Days. So with that, I would like to bring on our capable co-hosts who always do a magnificent job. Once again, share. We thank all the listening audience and we ask you to spread it far and wide. Help us to receive our co-hosts for today's program, Diva DeVos and Eric Buddy Davis.
Thank you, Brother Troy. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, y'all.
What's up, beautiful people?
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? I need everyone who can see my face, who can see my man Eve right here, to log on, to share this video. This event is going to be informative, amazing. You don't want to miss it. So I'm going to give you a few minutes, just 2 minutes, to share and invite all of your friends. And welcome. Welcome to the Black History and the importance of Black History.
365.
365 days. How dare
all day, every day.
That they give us 1 month. 1 month of Black History. Who did that?
Good old America.
365 all day.
Make sure you go to the Annapolis LOC page. This is where it's streaming live. You can share it from there with all of your friends, all your family, anybody interested in getting this information, learning more about your history, research your history. Black History 365. A few more minutes, we'll get the program started. Thank you, everybody, for taking your time to tune in with us tonight. We know it's a lot you could be doing at home, from your couch, from your bed, from your kitchen, from your living room.
That's right.
But thank you for tuning in with us, giving us your time.
That's right.
We have a couple hours of good information. Stay tuned.
Live right now, YouTube page, Diva the Voice. Head over there. If you're on Facebook Live right now, go to the Annapolis Local Organizing Committee page. We are live streaming. Share the page. Let everybody know that we are here live, going down, giving you good information, good music. Yeah. We got some good music from you, from good people.
Yes, we do.
From Annapolis, representing right here live on your screen right now. So log on, share this page, log on to the Facebook Live at the Annapolis Local Organizing Committee page, Diva the Voice YouTube page, live stream right now. And without further ado, I'm going to bring on this next man. This next man has been consistent in every way imaginable, bringing you the details, bringing you the history of Annapolis, the history of Black history.
Absolutely.
He is the epitome of bringing you the history of Black history for 365 days. He personally has this information on his Facebook page where he does this tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. And he just give you so much information in those TikToks. I like to welcome the creator of Caucus African American Leaders. It's a nonprofit organization. I want to welcome y'all to the screen. If y'all logging on, y'all need to get here, share with your friends, because you do not want to miss what this man has to say. Please, right there in your seat, put your hands together for our brother from Annapolis, Carl Snowden. Hey, Brother Carl.
Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
We may be having some technical difficulties here, but I'll try to work through this. I hope you can hear me okay.
We can hear you. We can hear you perfectly.
Thank you for the introduction. Thank you for the opportunity to participate. thanks to Annapolis LOC for continuing to educate and inspire and enlighten and empower our people. Special shout out, of course, to Brother Troy Stansberry, who has been very, very consistent. For the last few weeks now, I have been meeting with and talking about African American history and the importance of us knowing our history. And so often we don't know our history, we don't know the contributions that people have made. Tonight represents two anniversaries. Tonight is the anniversary where Muhammad Ali, the great boxer, beat Sonny Liston and claimed to the world that he was the greatest. Tonight is also the birthday of a local woman whose name is Eliza Mae Robinson. She's 89 years old, and she organized the longest rent strike in the history of the state of Maryland. And I always like to lift up Mrs. Robinson because Mrs. Robinson is the epitome of what it means to be Black in America and what it
Yes.
means to fight. When people ask, as Harold has heard me say at least 3 times, am I allergic to anything? I immediately respond, I have one allergy, racism. It's
That's
something
right.
about racism.
That's right.
And this allergy is not the kind of allergy that comes every 100 years, as the current pandemic that we are experiencing. From the beginning of time, from the beginning of us arriving here in America in 1619, Black people have been faced with this virus called racism. It is a virus that's deadly. It is a virus that has killed many brothers and sisters far too early. And so part of Black history is helping us to understand why the virus exists and what we can do collectively to address this very deadly disease. One of the things I want to share with people who are listening tonight, there's a undiscovered African American that I want people to really pay attention to. We all know about Frederick Douglass. We know about Harriet Tubman, but many, many people are not aware of who Madison Washington was. If you get an opportunity tonight, Google the name Madison Washington, and you're going to be surprised to discover that not only did Madison Washington, who was an African American, not only was he able to win his freedom, but he led a mutiny that was enable hundreds of Black people to be free. Madison Washington. He's a name that is not taught to us in the public school system. Very few people have heard about him, but he's a tremendous example to our youth of what a determined individual can do to get their freedom. And I would call upon people to take a look at Madison Washington. He was one of those great heroes that are often not mentioned. And 3 other things I'd like to share with the audience that I think is just so important for us to understand as it relates to our history. There are people who think that Kamala Harris, who is now the Vice President of the United States, was the first person to occupy the vice presidency with what's called a blended family. As some of you know, her husband is white, her stepchildren are white. And many people think this is the first time this has happened in American history. It is not. There have been 2 vice presidents, 2, who had a, quote, blended family. One was the second vice president of the United States, a man by the name of Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson impregnated a woman by the name of Sally Hemings, who was a Black woman, and she bore him children. And for years, those children were enslaved by the slave master. The second vice president of the United States was the 9th vice president of the United States. He served under President Van Buren. His name was Johnson, Mentor, Mentor, Mentor Johnson. When you Google Mentor Johnson, you're going to discover something that is never taught in the public schools. Most people can matriculate through colleges and universities, and they will never know this. But Mentor Johnson, who was from Kentucky, married, that's correct, he married a Black woman. Her name was Julie Chin, and she produced 2 daughters. 2 daughters that was the offspring of the vice president the 9th Vice President of the United States of America. You'd be surprised how many people who have their PhDs in history do not know that fact. But the reality is there are a lot of history that African Americans have that generally people are not aware of. Marylanders, for example, are unaware of that the first African American to get elected to public office anywhere in the state of Maryland was from Annapolis, Maryland. His name was Alderman William Butler. He got elected in 1873, 8 years after the Civil War. Black people served on Annapolis City Council from 1873 to the present, with only one exception. In 1909, the Maryland General Assembly passed a law called the Grandfather's Law, or Grandfather's Clause, and what it simply meant was that if your grandfather couldn't vote, you couldn't either. And so from 1909 to 1915, Black people were not allowed to serve on the city council. It took a lawsuit brought by Black people to go all the way up to the Supreme Court and have Black people's rights restored in 1915. The other point I'd like to just share with the audience that's watching, it took 366 years, 366 years here in Anne Arundel County before the first African-American woman was elected to serve on the Anne Arundel County Circuit Court. For 366 years, no Black woman ever served. There have been no Asians, there have been no Latinos that have served as well on the Anne Arundel County Circuit Court. Think about that for a minute. No matter who was the governor, whether he was a liberal or a conservative, whether he was a Democrat or a Republican, no governor up until recent time appointed any Black woman to serve on the Circuit Court here in Anne Arundel County. And there were numerous people who were qualified. And a shout out should go to a woman who was in 2014. She was an administrative law judge. Her name is Claudia Barber. She challenged the system here in Anne Arundel County. She was the first African-American woman to run and to win the Democratic nomination. She did not go on to win the election, but what she was able to do was establish the fact that women, Black women, could be first in the Democratic primary. The current judge, her name is Elizabeth Morse, owes her victory in part to Judge Claudia Barber, who laid the foundation so that 6 years later, she would be able to run and get elected. And then I end on this note. There have been only two people in American history, just two. As racist as this country is, there have only been two people in the entire history of this country who have ever been censored by the United States Senate and the United States House of Representatives, just two. And if you ask most Americans who they were, they don't know. One, of course, was Minister Louis Farrakhan, who was censored by the Senate back in the 80s. But the second one was censored just very recently. And the vast majority of Americans are unaware of this. In the year 2020, the second individual to be censored by the United States House of Representatives was former President Donald Trump. He was censored because of his racist tweets aimed at people of color, particularly African-American women. There were 4 of them. And if you ask most Americans, they're unaware of the fact that the House of Representatives had officially censored former President Donald Trump. So I wanted to share those little tidbits of information. Hopefully people will find those bits of information to be useful and start doing the research and look at the contributions that African Americans have made throughout the nation, but specifically here in the city of Annapolis, the kinds of contributions that have made a huge difference. So again, Brother Stansbury, thank you for the opportunity to share a few thoughts on Black history.
Thank you.
brother.
Thank you, Brother Carl, for always, as I stated in the beginning, always being so consistent, just with your delivery, with your knowledge. I personally appreciate you. I've always appreciated you from a child. I know you know my grandmother, Rosalie Mitchell, and I just remember her fighting for everything and getting everyone on board, and even when she was wrong. So I appreciate you just having just so much knowledge and consistently showing it and giving it to your children and the children and their children. I
Sister,
personally
let me just say
appreciate you.
to you, I knew your grandmother
Yes,
very well.
yes,
And most of Annapolitans watching won't know this. And again, this is why we have to preserve the history.
yes,
There is a community center in Eastport named after your grandmother.
yes,
It's called the
sir.
Rosalie Mitchell Community Center.
Yes,
I
sir.
remember when it was dedicated. She was an incredible woman who helped to enlighten people. And again, we have to preserve our history of women and men who locally have made a difference. And Rosalie Mitchell was one of those women who made a significant difference.
Absolutely.
She was held in such high regard that the community petitioned to have the community center named after her.
Yeah.
And I remember when that center was dedicated, Rosalie Mitchell.
Yeah.
People must be able to share the information and preserve the history.
Yeah.
All too often, what happens is after 2 generations, people lose that history.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for keeping the spirit of your grandmother alive. She'd be so proud of you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
How you doing, Brother Stone? Eric Davis. I'm not sure if you know my grandmother, the late Betty Ann Johnson, but I'm sure she knew you. I heard her speak of you several times. But I actually, before I have a question, I want to say thanks for being an inspiration for myself, people like Mo Lloyd, and coming from the city of Annapolis. I know it's not many male figures in a positive light, or at least get pushed in a positive light.
Yeah.
And you're one of those people consistently. Definitely appreciate your TikToks in the morning, talking about people from here, people from
Yep.
all over this country that's Black Americans and made history here. But I have a question for you that I was asked to ask you. How do you feel about or can you speak on the history of the Alex Haley statue downtown Annapolis, the representation of Kunta Kinte, and your thoughts on that?
Right. Let me tell people again, there are people who may not know this, but when the movie Roots first came out in 1977, it was a miniseries. It was extraordinarily controversial when the movie first was produced, or the miniseries first came out. In 1977, a group of African-American leaders, actually 1978, following this movie, because Annapolis was such a prominent part of this movie, decided to ask the Annapolis City Council to be able to put up a plaque memorializing Kunta Kinte in 1978. By a vote of 5-4, the Annapolis City Council turned it down. And the rationale for doing it in 1978 was that Kunta Kinte was not an Annapolitan. Black people
Wow.
were outraged. But Black people didn't moan, they organized. And so people like Leslie Stanton, Bertina Nick,
Yeah.
a host of people began to organize people. The election was in 1981. We put together what was called the Black Agenda. And the number one item on the Black Agenda was to be able to create a memorial for Kunta Kinte. 2 people were running for the mayorship at the time, one a Republican, the other a Democrat. And believe it or not, it was the Republican who said that if he was elected, he would support putting the memorial downtown. We got behind him. He won the election, and we were able to get this Kunta Kinte memorial to be put downtown Annapolis in 1981. I met Alex Haley, had a 3 to 4 hour discussion with him, not just about Roots, but about Malcolm X, because I was very interested in his insight on Malcolm X. When Alex Haley appeared in Annapolis in 1981, over 1,500 people turned out. It's probably the only time in recent memory that many African Americans showed up
I'm sure.
in downtown Annapolis in
I'm
great
sure.
numbers.
Yeah.
Within 48 hours, of the plaque being put in, it was stolen. To this day,
Yep.
the persons who stole the original Kunta Kinte plaque has never been prosecuted
Prosecuted.
or arrested or convicted. But as a result of stealing the plaque in 1981, it led to the plaque being replaced in this much larger memorial that you see in downtown Annapolis to Alex Haley and Kunta Kinte. Alex Haley, as many know, was his ancestor was Kunta Kinte. And one of the things Alex Haley shared with us was the importance of people knowing their history. And image is very important. And I think one of the things that people would be surprised to know that the current Alex Haley Kunta Kinte Memorial in downtown Annapolis was not the original Kunta Kinte Memorial.
Yeah.
The powers to be decided that the original Kunta Kinte Memorial was just too powerful of an image placed in downtown Annapolis.
Wow.
The original Kunta Kinte Memorial, as being proposed, was going to be it was going to depict an African American, but 8 feet tall, with his chains being broken, and in his hands would be a baby, as you see in the movie Roots,
and Roots.
with these words, with the baby lifted to the air.
Yeah.
The words would have been, "Behold, the only thing greater than thyself." Would have been a powerful scene.
Yeah.
But again, the powers to be decided that was too powerful. And as a result of a lot of compromise and politics, we now have the Alex Haley Kunta Kinte Memorial in downtown Annapolis. And Brother Eric, one of the things you need to know, it is the most popular memorial in the city of Annapolis. It's more popular than any other memorial that we have in the city.
Wow.
We appreciate that information. I didn't know half of the stuff you just told me. So once again, thank you, brother. We really appreciate that.
How important would have the original one in 81, 8 feet tall, with chains broken, holding up a baby? That one would have been so extremely powerful. But because it didn't make it, we still have us. We still have our voices and the story that we can tell, and just let it live on. Now that we know, I think I'll tell that every morning on the staff meeting now.
Right.
Let it live on.
Resiliency.
Brother Carl, I appreciate you so much. Thank you again. Thank you every day. Just for your listen, every day I go to Facebook and I go and read those TikToks. And whenever I need to know something, it is your page, sir, that I go and find information out. It's yours. It's besides the other books and things that I can get into, you get right to the point and you write it in such a way that I can understand it. So I appreciate that. It is your information that I go to and relate to.
Thank you.
Before
Yes,
you
you're
get
welcome.
out of here, Brother Carl, is there anything that you have upcoming that you want the people to know about? Anything that you want advice or websites, or any information that you could leave for the people where they can go further their knowledge on what you got going on and the things that you've spoken on tonight?
Thank you for the opportunity. One of the things that happened last year, for those who don't know, my mother passed last year. She was 104 years old. And one of the things my mother would often say, and she had such wisdom, there would be people who make the fatal mistake of saying nothing has changed in America. You know, if you look at America 100 years ago, nothing has changed. Well, my mother would be one who would argue vigorously.
Yeah,
Anyone who said that does not know the history of America
that's right.
and does not know how much change that have come. So in May of last year, following the death of my mother, I published my first book.
Yes.
And for those who would be interested in it, it's available. It's a book that documents the history of Annapolis and great events that have taken place here. One of the things, Eric, that I like to just share with you that a lot of people don't know. When I was Brother Hurl's age, actually I was a little younger than Brother Hurl.
Mm-hmm.
When I was the age of 15, after reading the autobiography of Malcolm X, it had such an impact on my life that I went from being a teenager, becoming what people refer to as an activist. Unbeknownst to me, at the tender age of 15, the FBI opened up a FBI file on me. I'm one of the few Marylanders who actually have successfully sued the FBI. By the time I was 22, I had discovered I had an FBI file that was started when I was 15. It gave me an incredible insight in how government works and how important it is for all of us to understand the system that we live in. So what I've attempted to do is to record in this book that I've written, which you see behind me, events that have occurred in the city of Annapolis, so that we are able to pass on to future generations what the struggle has been and will be as we move forward, so that people will get an idea of what types of things they can do to ensure that they're successful. So again, for those who would be interested, we have a book out. It's called Some People Watch Clocks, I Watch People. You can learn a great deal if you watch people, more than if you watch clocks. And so I'd welcome anyone who would be interested in getting the book. It's available locally. You can also go on Amazon and order it as well. So again, thank you for this opportunity to share.
Thank you for that, Brother Carl. Appreciate you.
Thank you again. Thank you so much. So everyone that's watching, the book is available at Amazon. You can go on and get it there or locally here in Annapolis. Where can they get it locally here in Annapolis, Brother Carl?
By either they can do a cash app to me directly, and I'll obviously mail it out to them, or they can send it a letter, or sorry, ordered by mail at P.O. Box 371, P.O. Box 371, Annapolis, Maryland 21404. And of course, we'll mail it to them. The cost of the book is $25, which includes the mailing. If you get it locally, it's $20.
Okay.
And if you want to, you can drop that information also in the comments section on the Annapolis LOC page.
Yes.
That way people that might watch this later, catch it late, can go back and see most of the things that you have put out there for them to go purchase.
Thank you for that suggestion.
Not a problem.
Thank you. All right, y'all. How y'all feeling out there? Y'all all right?
Y'all still tuned in with us? Y'all locked in at home?
Y'all all right? Brother Carl just dropped knowledge as usual. As usual. When you get some time, guys, if you want to go check out Carl Snowden's page, his Facebook page, and just check out those TikToks. It will change your life. I'm telling you, it is packed with information. You can go, as he told you, and mail the request to get his book on the at the P.O. box, or he's going to leave the information right there in the Dropbox. Or you can go on his Facebook page and message him personally and let him know that you are interested in one of his books, and I'm sure he would take care of you there.
The name of the book was I Don't Watch Clocks, I Watch People. Was the name of the book.
Yes. I don't watch clocks, I watch people.
And as a communications major, that's real, because you can have a whole nonverbal communication with a person and know what's going on in their life.
Oh, absolutely.
Pay attention to the details. So I love that title. Very clever, Brother Snowden.
Absolutely.
Next up, we got some performances coming for y'all. We'll give y'all a few more minutes to get comfortable, get ready. Hope you caught Brother Snowden's great information. And
hopefully everyone is still here with us live right now. Go to my YouTube page, Diva the Voice. Live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook as well. The Annapolis Local Organizing Committee page. We live there. We live everywhere. We live on Instagram. We live here. You know, it's just a live situation. Live situation. So look, if y'all can see our t-shirts right here say "Stop Hurting, Start Healing." This is a t-shirt from the initiative that Adatola, shout out to Adatola, created No Harm. It's an initiative right there in Annapolis. It's a violence interruption program, and he wants us all, we are encouraging people all in the communities to stop hurting and start healing. So shout out to you, Tola. Shout out to all the staff over there at the mayor's office. And not to further ado, what's up, E?
I just wanted to drop a quote real quick.
Drop a quote. Just drop a quote.
I wrote down a bunch of quotes just to drop some history today. And what she just said about these shirts, I felt like this quote fit. For to be free is to not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedoms of others. Nelson Mandela. So as far as this says, stop hurting, start healing.
Nice.
You can try to act like you're over things, but until you really start doing the healing yourself, checking in on yourself, loving yourself, doing your own research of your history, because this country won't
Absolutely.
you won't really get there. So I just wanted to drop that gem real
Absolutely.
quick. Back to the beautiful
Absolutely. Listen, if it is one thing that I could leave with you guys before and after this program, if you leave with one word, it would be to heal. Heal in every way imaginable. Heal first and then be better. So without further ado, I am going to bring to you, my goodness, my brother from another mother, another father, but he my brother. Nevertheless, this man, y'all, you talking about consistency. I'm going to tell you something. The apple does not fall far from the tree. This man has been just as consistent as his dad.
One of the most consistent, best performers the city's ever seen.
In terms of music, he just going to keep on working. He just going to keep on working. I'm going to bring to y'all Kojo and the beautiful, this young lady, hold on, time out. This young lady, y'all, this voice, you better be in your spot and ready. Turn your music, turn your radios, turn your volume all the way up.
All the way up.
Because the sounds that is about to come out of her mouth is
Girl.
amazing. Amazing. So y'all get ready. I'm going to bring them on to the mic. Y'all already know who it is. My brother, Kojo, and my sister, the lovely Devon Danielle.
One, two, 1, 2. Mic check. Yes. How's everybody doing?
Tangled up in my mic, my mask. Good evening, everybody. In Zoom land, the new way of the world.
Yes.
Big shout out to Brother Troy and Annapolis Loc committee for never thinking it robbery to include me and my good friend Kojo here.
Appreciate you.
And all of the events and celebrations. So we just come to bring a little musical entertainment for the evening.
Let's go.
If you're at home, you can throw a snap on it like this. Like this. I'm losing it.
Yes.
I've lost it. I'm closer than I ever thought I would be.
Say what?
When I was 17,
Say what?
You couldn't tell me that this is what life would be like. Everything wrong just make you feel right. I write these love songs, I'm alone most nights and I'm crying.
Say what? Say what? Say what?
Teardrops on the phone, I'm crying. Little baby, listen to your mama. I know you think she crazy, cause she picked your father. You got a lot to lose, so make sure you don't follow me. And I act like it don't bother me 1,000 times.
Devon, you better sing.
I'm out my mind 1,000 times. I lost my mind. 1,000 times I lost my mind. 1,000 times I lost my mind. 1,000 times.
Riding down the highway, reflecting on life. I've never been the type to get caught in the hype. Those I don't talk to get caught up when I write. And sinning is how I've been spending most of my nights. I've rekindled this old relationship. I know it ain't right. It was supposed to be a fling, then it turned into a thing. How I get back on that scene that gave my mama bad dreams. I'm so ashamed. I wanna scream. Living in this world that only respects green. You can't take when you leave, so I'll make you believe. Like those words from that Bible that you read, like that stuff that you can't see, but somehow you still breathe. It feels like I'm gasping forward. Thoughts of my life I don't like, wish I could fast forward. They say you reap what you sow, so maybe I asked for this. Maybe my life's just a movie with all the camcorders and all of my supporters. I was the man before this. I went from the porches to seeing girls as gorgeous. Hampton never take me alive. I'm sure they all gonna return when I die. Right?
Lord, Lord, Lord.
Oh, you better sing.
Yeah. Lord, Lord, Lord.
Everybody put your hands
up. Let me testify.
Come on.
I kinda miss the days I spent extra.
Come on.
Thinking out the box, but I used to hide.
Say what?
Throwing rose petals like he loves me now.
Say what?
Silly me, I really thought we tied the knot. He gave me the key, but he kept the lock. I see him in my dreams, so I sleep alive. Wake up in the morning trying not to
Break it
cry,
down.
but my pillow stained from makeup and the tears I trap.
Then
I
what?
got these frozen toes and moments I kicked off my socks.
Come on.
Digging holes and hoping that I find a sign. I know I had it and I probably didn't pay it no mind. But I'm out my mind.
1,000 times I
lost my mind.
1,000 times I
lost my mind.
1,000 times I
lost my mind. 1,000 times.
My name is Kojo Snowden. That's Devon Daniil.
Thanks for listening, y'all.
Yes, yes.
Lost my mind. She said she lost her mind 1,000 times. Lost my mind 1,000 times. I lost my mind 1,000 times.
Don't sound as good as her.
Woo!
But everybody, please, please, please. stand
One
up at
more
your seats at home
round
and
of
give it up.
applause for Devon Daniil and Kojo, y'all.
I hope it felt as amazing at home as it felt here.
I told you what she was gonna do.
I think we should
I
let the people know
warned y'all.
with projects and stuff that Kojo and Devon got out right now.
I think so, I think so.
So make sure, if I'm not mistaken, Kojo, the Benny tape is out. Correct. Make sure y'all go get that Benny tape. Make sure y'all go get the Heart of Hip Hop 3. Devon just recently dropped Skin Tone Brown. I believe you just dropped the video maybe a week or so ago.
Skin Tone Brown.
So make sure y'all go download all of that. Support every artist in our city. Super, super talent around here. Been that way. Gonna keep going that way. More to come.
And I think it was Verses, right?
Yeah,
Before that, it was Verses, and then this one is Round
Midnight was the first one.
Oh,
This
that was the
one,
first
the
one.
new one is Skin Tone Brown.
Okay. Skin Tone Brown.
I be seeing you on the gram looking real earthy and beautiful.
Brown
I be checking
skin.
For the distance, girl. You know what it is.
Pretty brown. That's right.
But we definitely hope y'all enjoyed that performance.
So
man.
good to be black, man. I don't want to be no other color. That's it. Round of applause for everybody that's black. Black, black, black.
Sue me, I'm rooting for everybody that's black.
I'm just saying.
You know the vibes.
It's pretty much it after that. So thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in right now for our 6th annual Black History event, the Annapolis Local Organizing Committee. Shout out to Annapolis LOC in the building.
Shout out to Annapolis, Maryland as a whole.
Yeah. So this is our 6th annual, but our first virtual. So first virtual, listen, nowadays, everything is virtual.
The new norm.
How many of y'all so tired of just being in front of the screen like this?
Raise your hands.
You show up, you dressed on the top and not at the bottom. That's me.
Fully dressed tonight, though. We in our Black excellence tonight. Fully dressed.
That's me. I got my shirt on at the top. I don't know. I better not stand up.
Pajama pants at the bottom.
Pajama pants at the bottom. That is the new norm, so they say.
It is.
Well, I don't want to get used to that. Open the places back up.
Like most things in our history, we will be resilient and find a way to do what we
Resilient!
do. As usual. As per usual.
Yes!
That's what we do. That's Black history because we are American. Black people are American history. Just had to slide that in there real quick just to let you know. So 365 days, why we saying that's the theme of this evening for this night is because you got to do your research past February. 28 days ain't enough to explain this greatness.
No, absolutely not.
These are the history.
Then
But
it's the shortest month. The shortest month
But you know what that's about.
of the year.
You know what that's about.
We don't care about that though.
Nah, not at all.
365,
We gonna shine.
all the way live. Bringing you my man. Speaking of all the way live, y'all, this youth activist, this young king,
Young goat.
representing in Annapolis, Maryland, right here in his city, went to get educated and brought it right on back to uplift his brothers and his sisters right here in his community.
Young Black Mamba.
Young Black Mamba, young Harold, Harold Mo Lloyd, NAACP youth president.
Community organizer.
Listen, everything and everything in between. Put your hands together for my brother, young Mo Lloyd, y'all.
What's
Hey,
good, Brody?
Mo.
What's up, y'all? I appreciate y'all. Appreciate Annapolis Loc. Appreciate you, Diva. Appreciate you, Eric, man. Y'all always know how to introduce me, man. I always appreciate.
We got you, bro. We throw the oop, you deliver.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's what it's about, though. Always about the Black love, the Black unity, Black power. That's why we here today. And as a youngin' coming up, you know, learning about my Black history changed my life for real. It gave me a whole different perspective. And I think that's always going to be essential, you know, with all of us for real. You got to know where you come from, what you're going to be, you know, how did you get here? And I think, you know, one of the reasons why a lot of people in our community never hit their full potentials because they truly don't know who they are. Yeah. And when you don't know who you are, you don't really know about anything that's around you. You don't know about your environment. You don't know about your history, your government. And we all know that, you know, our history isn't taught in school. So we got to teach our history to our community.
That's right.
We want to really flourish. And that's why, you know, one of the most powerful things is your mind and a book. You know, when you combine those together, you're unstoppable. When you combine unity with love, you're unstoppable.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think that's something that we will be focusing on in the future. Because when we organize, we mobilize, we're unstoppable. I mean, even the U.S. government knows that. You know, we talking about history. We talk about COINTELPRO and how they did everything to stop each and every Black leader that was flourishing. How they were trying to analyze and look into Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad, Stokely Carmichael. When they realized when Black people unite together, and the Black Panthers, excuse me, when we unite together, we are unstoppable. History proves that.
Yeah.
You know, when the Civil War came around, they were struggling until the Black slaves came and united together, you know, to get our rights, and we still got betrayed by this country. When World War I and World War II came, they were struggling until those Black soldiers came. So once we realized that, you know, our unity in our community, when we come together and we help each other and we build each other, we're truly unstoppable. And everybody knows that. We are one of the most powerful groups in the world. We come from the most powerful continent in the world. There's no country in the world that has more resources than Africa.
Teach.
One of the richest countries in the
Teach.
world. But people don't know that. People won't know that. That's why we had to teach our history. We can't expect the school to teach our history no more. We can't expect the government to respect our history.
Facts.
So that's one of the things that I be trying to emphasize on people. Like, it's up to us, because nobody has us like us. And once we realize that we are all each other's crutches, nobody's going to fall. Our community is going to stay strong.
That's right.
And we won't have to ask anybody for help.
That's right.
And it's a shame that we were deprived of our resources. It's a shame that we had to face 1,000 obstacles every time a white person faced one obstacle.
That's right.
But that's in the past, and we can't change history. That's one thing we can't change. We can always change the future. We can always control that trajectory, but it's up to us. And as much as I want to fuss about the history day by day, because that's something that my father, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, their grandparents, all of my ancestors went through. All of my ancestors had to struggle, and even myself had to struggle. I cannot change the past. I can only change the future. That's why I'm always trying to unite us together, because we're going to make new Black history that we're going to be super proud of.
Yeah.
We're going to eradicate all of the negative norms that are in our community.
That's right.
Because we weren't the ones who brought those here.
That's right.
We didn't put guns in our community. They don't emanate from our community. Drugs don't emanate from our community. I never seen a cocaine plant in my friend's backyard.
That's right.
We know what happened, and we know how the government exasperated it. It is what it is. And it's a shame that they would never admit that. And it's a shame that we have to tell our kids the real story. But in order to progress, we have to make those sacrifices. We have to take those steps.
Yeah.
And we're going to take those steps, and we have the power to take those steps. Because I want to empower you, my sister Diva. I want to empower you, my sister, my brother Troy, my brother Eric. I want to empower the whole community, because that's what we need to do. That's what we have to do.
Absolutely.
That's what we should do. That's what our kids should do. That's what our grandkids should do.
Absolutely.
Because our community, we come from love. They changed the definition. They gave us negative connotations.
That's right.
They changed the definition of Black. Black is beautiful. We know that.
Yeah.
As you said earlier, Black is resilient. Black is brilliant. That's us. We know that. And that has to be something that has to be indoctrinated in all of us, so we all can believe that.
Absolutely.
We all know what the white people have done to us. We all know the evil actions that have been brought upon us. However, the media makes it seem as though we were the bad ones. Media makes it seem as though we had it coming for us. And every time we showed our enemy love, they betrayed us. So that's why you have to know your history, so you always know who your real enemy is. Because if you don't, you're going to think your own brother is your enemy. You're going to think your own brother is setting you up. You're going to think the reason that you're in this predicament, this plight, is because of your brother, because of your sister. That's not true. So that's why we have to teach Black history 24/7,
Absolutely.
365 days of the year. Because one thing I always said is our history is strong, our history is long, and we still finding out new things about our history day by day.
That's right.
So it's up to us, and we're gonna make that change. I know we're gonna make that change. We're too powerful to not make that change. But first we have to organize, we have to unite, we have to mobilize, and then we will see some tangible processes we have never seen before.
Yes.
And that's all I really gotta say, man, because I think we all know what we have to do at this point. It's about executing it now.
That's it. That's it. Well, listen, you already know how much I appreciate you, but I know when you spoke on not being able to change the past, we can recreate it though.
Facts.
We have started recreating it, starting with the youngest alderman in Annapolis, the youngest ever alderman in Annapolis, Alderman DeJuan Gray. Shout out to DeJuan. We can start recreating the history. We can create the change that we want, right? I'm with it. I appreciate your leadership and your consistency as well, Mo. All you want to do is teach who's coming behind you and empower who's in front of you. And I appreciate that. I appreciate you just for that. You're a commodity. A commodity.
Appreciate it.
And your only mission is to get more men like you.
You special.
And I'm on board. I'm on board. I ain't a minute. I get the sisters.
Nah, I'll never like leaving out the sisters. Them as well. They're essential. You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because my mother helped build me just as much as my father.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're hand in hand. That's one thing we always got to remember too, is that we are a team. That's how we unite.
That's right. That's right, because that's one of them. That's one of many things, right? That's one of many barriers that they placed already in our households, having us thinking that we didn't have the men stripped away from the women, having us thinking that we didn't need a family, had the women thinking we didn't need the man. having our women right now saying, I want a grown man that can do this, this, and this, and they can't do this, this, and this.
Preach.
But I got my sisters. I'm gonna leave that for Women's Month, right? March the 1st, we're gonna jump off
Don't do
Women's
us like
Month.
that. Don't
And
do
I'm gonna
men
come
like
on,
that.
I'm gonna come on with it and try to educate my sisters. But I'm with you, bro. And it is very important to unite with women, right? Brother Nori told us that last year. He told us a nation cannot rise. He told us a nation cannot rise no higher than its woman.
Gotta empower the woman. All starts with you.
Absolutely.
Know about it.
So, Mo, I appreciate you. Thank you for always dropping the jewels.
Before you get out of here, brother, is there
Teaching the
anything
youth.
that you want to leave with the youth that you got coming up? Any programs, anything that they can get involved with? I seen y'all been promoting stuff on IG. Anything people can go through, to find what you're doing next?
Man, it's man, I can't even lie. A lot of stuff I do is just random.
I can dig it. No, that's real though.
Daily.
That's real.
But I mean, it's 2021. So as far as locally, Annapolis is essential. We need an agenda. We need a black agenda.
Yeah.
It's our local elections. So our city council members, they on the hot seat.
Absolutely.
So we have to ensure that they're going to make these promises early before we give them the vote.
Yeah.
No reason for us to be voting without any promises that's going to help promote our agendas and our interests. So yeah, that's the most essential thing this year. That's what I'm working hard with. You may see me out with my friends. I'm working with my cousin, Keanu Smith Brown, Ward 3 Alderman.
Yes.
As
young
I am.
Progressive fella, just like myself. We're trying to bring change to the community. We're trying to empower the community. So yeah, this year, we're not blindly voting anymore. We're not just voting because they Democrat.
That's right.
We're gonna hold them accountable this year, even before the
That's
election
right.
starts.
Talk that talk.
Because I'm tired of our communities getting exploited and oppressed, and everybody's turning a blind eye. We didn't vote people in to turn blind eyes. We
Absolutely.
voted them in to represent us. So that's all I really gotta say for the people is just, be
Hey,
on
the
the
jig
lookout
is
for
up,
them.
Mo. The jig.
What you say, D?
The jig is up.
Thanks.
Hey, I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, Brody.
I appreciate you so much. All right, y'all. I need everybody out there in the world. If you
get
are
it.
listening to share, because we got Brother Nori Muhammad, and you do not want to miss this word that he's about to give y'all. He is so powerful.
Very much so.
He is so powerful. You don't want to miss this. Before we bring on Brother Nori, we are going to bless you guys one more time with our brother Kojo and our sister Devon Daniil before we bring on Brother Nori, y'all. So put your hands together. Go to all of your pages. Bring them on, y'all. Let's hear them hands together. Bring them back on. Go to your pages and share.
Share everywhere.
Share.
YouTube,
and
Facebook.
Share.
One. 1 2 1 2. So yesterday, I released a project titled The Benny Tape. And this right here is a single off of that tape titled Who Do You Love? And it features Devon Daniil. And I just like to say, the type of love I'm talking about, the picture can't be captured in an Instagram post. Let's go.
I know I've been ducking you,
Uh-huh.
cause I don't know who you love.
Oh, yeah.
I wanna be the only one. So tell me, and not just because. Who do you love, 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 love? Who do you love, 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 love? Who do you love, 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 love? Who do you love, 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 love?
Ducking you for what? I ain't showed you enough. You think I'm just in love? You don't think I'm in love? I'm in love with your eyes. I'm in love with your touch. I am in love with those guys, but I'm in love with your thoughts. That's why I'm spilling all my feelings on this old song. Me, you, and God know you help me weather some storms. That joy is at night.
Joy comes in the morning.
But you into my life, and I treated you right. I mean, you was even there during the heat of the night when they put them cuffs on me and was reading my rights. I know opposites attracting. Well, you ain't my type, but I was wondering one day, like, could you be my wife?
I know I've been ducking you. Cause I don't know who you love.
Come on.
I wanna be the only one. So tell me, and not just because. Who do you love, love, love? Love, love, who do you love, 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 love? Who do you love, 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 love? Who do you love, 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 love? Thanks for listening. My name is Devon Daniil.
You might see this backwards act and think I'm a backwards thinker, but I'm actually not. I'm a wordsmith from the hood and an avid reader. I run with a mud. I'm kneeling with cat. Before I get down on my knees, I can't breathe. My unforgivable blackness. My unforgivable blackness. I run with a mud. I'm kneeling with cat. Before I get down on my knees, I can't breathe. My unforgivable blackness. My unforgivable blackness. They say the revolution. Would I be televised? Stop watching television. They just be telling lies. Police keep tricking us. Media tricking us. Media tricking us. Police keep killing us. Claiming we outlaws. They try to get rid of us. Claiming we outlaws. They try to get rid of us. Emmett Till never whistled. Mike Brown never had a pistol. Stephon Clark had a cell phone in the backyard and the cops killed him. Another unarmed black man. Killed in broad daylight. Would Tamir had died the same way? If he was white? I run with a mud. I'm kneeling with cat. Before I get down on my knees, I can't breathe. My unforgivable blackness. My unforgivable blackness. My grandmama suffered. My aunts and mother struggled. My father risked and fought too much for me to just sit back and not speak up. I'm black. You're black. I don't care how many white associates or friends you got. They're not black. I don't care if y'all hang out, if y'all go out on dates. If they don't wake up with this, then they can't relate. My unforgivable blackness. My unforgivable blackness. Thank y'all for listening.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful.
Unforgivable blackness. My unforgivable blackness. My unforgivable blackness. Wow.
May your blackness be unforgivable, unforgettable. Oh, none of that. Your blackness is greatness. Amazing, Kojo.
Kojo, thank you so much, brother, for that powerful piece. Devon Daniil, thank you, Queen, for your beautiful girl. Your voice is like, it's like clouds.
It's easy.
It's like
It's easy.
It's like easy, like Sunday morning. Period.
Is there anything y'all got coming up, Kojo and Devon, that y'all like for the people to know before we get out of here?
Well, Kojo, we know Kojo dropped the new.
Oh, well, we know the music is out, but you know, people still doing shows via Zoom. People hustling, man. What's going down? KOJ 440.
KOJO
440.
440. Tune in when? Okay.
That's fine.
So KOJO 440. Tune in tomorrow night at 9 p.m. He's going to be doing a virtual situation.
Devon?
Just like he did tonight, virtual, tomorrow, 9 o'clock, KOJO 440, 9 o'clock tomorrow, live from Pittsburgh, my man say. You don't know where he gonna be live at because everything virtual. But he in Pittsburgh because I say so.
That's fine.
Devon Daniil, what you got going on, baby? That's
Okay.
right.
Okay. Tease him.
Yes. Okay. Hey, so listen, I was gonna wait to tell y'all that on March. In March. Because we women and we black women and we coming.
It's the second time you try to leave black men out in Black
Hey,
History Month. You ain't
listen,
gonna keep doing
I'm
that
just
to me.
saying, y'all got every other,
I let it
all the
slide the
other
first time.
times. Y'all already
Right,
got
we
that.
love y'all. We love y'all.
Y'all already
right.
got that.
You're right. You're right.
Wait, is it a Black Men's Month? That's just
Father's Day.
that's just the other.
Father's Day. We'll get into that another
And we
time.
might-
We ain't gonna do that tonight. We love each other. We ain't gonna do that tonight.
you might
No
have
separation.
to get Mo to help you out with that. Mo can create a Black Men's Month for sure.
Mo called me his sister brother friend tonight. I don't know how Mo see me, but we gonna talk about that off camera too.
Shout out to my man Mo Lloyd. Shout out to all the brothers out there, all the sisters out there, especially you brothers. Listen, I know how amazing it is to be a Black woman, but I also know as a Black woman that we cannot do it without our Black men. We act like we can, but we can't.
I appreciate that. That's as close as
We
we ever
can't.
get to like y'all admitting to some stuff.
We
I'll take
can't.
that.
Oh, I'm about to educate the sisters. I got to educate them on them because you know there's single sisters, there's very independent sisters. I don't need no man. I don't need him. I don't need this. I don't need that.
They out here.
Let me learn you something.
I'm listening.
You got to have that.
Okay.
You got to have it. I'm gonna leave that for March.
A little
Women's
cliffhanger.
So thank you everybody for joining in. But without further ado, we're gonna bring on our brother, our very extraordinary, powerful brother. If y'all haven't heard him before, you will be stuck to your chairs. If you're on your living room sofa, you're gonna be stuck right there. You better turn up your volume all the way up like it's a go-go. Y'all know what I'm talking about? You better turn it up like you listening to a Jill Scott record or a Whitney Houston record or a Devon Daniil record. You better turn your music up loud and proud like you know, because we bringing on my brother, the amazing, the incomparable brother, Nori Muhammad. This brother got student minister all the way from Indianapolis, joining us live right here via YouTube for the 6th annual Annapolis Local Organizing Committee, the Black History 365 days. He about to touch on that message on all levels, on every level. We appreciate him. Last year, he blessed us with his presence and his good word, and he's back again this year virtually to bless us with his presence and his good word. And Brother Nori, I appreciate you. Everybody appreciates you. And now we're going to put our hands together and welcome our brother Nori, the student minister, Nori Muhammad.
Pleasure to have you, brother.
Oh man, all praises are due to Allah.
All praises.
All honor belongs and all glory belongs to the creator of the heavens and the earth. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, I bear witness that irregardless to land, language or label, creed, class or color, race, religion or ritual, that there is but one God. We thank that one God for all of his messengers, his warners, his prophets, and all of the revealed word that came through each and every one of them. I sit here today as a student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And as his student, I could never think that same God that 5,000 years ago raised an Abraham to stop idol worship among his people and raised a Moses 4,000 years ago to free slaves and raised a Jesus 2,000 years ago to break the shackles of mental, spiritual, and religious slavery. And that same God who 1,400 years ago gave us Muhammad in Saudi Arabia to free a people that had lost respect for their women and was in a state of ignorance and were so blind, deaf, and dumb that they were burying their own little girls. I thank Almighty God, the creator of the heavens and the earth, the revealer of all truth, the sender of all the prophets, for all of those great ones that were just mentioned. But I, like you, don't live in Egypt, don't live in Palestine, don't live in Saudi Arabia. And we're not living 5,000, 4,000, 2,000, or 1,400 years ago. We are present today in 2021 in the hills of North America. So I thank the Supreme Being for all of them, but I'm eternally grateful for his intervention in our affairs in the person of a man named Master Fard Muhammad, and for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad that he raised from among us, and today for that divine leader, teacher, and guide for you and me, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Clear.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Well, first of all, I have to say to my sister Diva Du Voice and brother Eric, how fine of a job that you all are doing tonight, hosting this first and hopefully last virtual Black History
Yes, sir.
365 from Annapolis, Maryland. Hopefully it's the last one.
Me too.
We'll see how the Rona do. But I want to give a special thanks and appreciation and really an expression of gratitude to the Annapolis Local Organizing Committee and that great soldier there that has kept kept our foot to the fire and kept us in the spirit to fulfill the pledge we made at the Million Man March, the Millions More Movement, the Million Family March, and the Justice or Else movement of 10-10-15 by keeping the LOC alive. I'm talking about that great soldier,
Yes.
the great brother Troy. Let's give that brother a great round of applause. We thank Allah for you, Brother Troy, and all of your staff and all of the hardworking team that sacrificed their time, talent, treasure, mind, money, and muscle to do something good, positive, and constructive for Black people in the city of Annapolis. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
My assignment tonight is to talk just for a few minutes on a subject called Black love. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said this about the way Black people, we could solve our own problems and stop all homicide, fratricide, and genocide in our community. We could stop all strong arm robbery, all bank robbery, all grand theft, auto. We could stop every crime that Black people exhibit or practice against each other just off of 3 simple principles followed in this divine order. He, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, said this. He said, the first thing that our people must have is they must have a thorough knowledge of self. He said that when you have a knowledge of self, your knowledge of self causes you to love yourself. And when you love yourself, you begin to do for yourself. And since your brother, base word of brother is other, your brother is your other self, it becomes a behavioral impossibility to know yourself, love yourself, and be doing good by yourself and to treat your other self in a negative way. So whenever we get baptized into what he listened to the words of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. He said, we must have a thorough knowledge of self. That's why I love the theme of this year's event in Annapolis for Black History Month, Black History 365, because you cannot get a thorough knowledge of self if you only look at Black history for 1 month out of the year. And ain't it something that the Caucasian rulers of this planet that gave us this time cut out of the calendar to celebrate Black history? Number one problem, they gave us a month. Nobody else has a month. Everybody else celebrates themselves 365 days a year. Number two, when they gave us the month, they gave us the shortest month of the year, yet we are the people with the longest history of anybody on the planet. And then, if you'll notice that in Black History Month, it's always, for the main course, Martin Luther King Jr. Then you have a side dish of Rosa Parks, 4 tablespoons of Frederick Douglass, and you might get you a little shot glass of some Malcolm X. But never have we ever been taught in Black history, period, in the public school systems of America. Never have we been taught anything about ourselves prior to us being kidnapped, robbed of our name, culture, religion, more ways, folk ways, norm, God, Caucasianized and westernized by the white man. Every time they talk about Black history, it's always from the cotton field to the current or the plantation to the present. Never do we go back in time whenever we were that proud, powerful, productive, and pious people before we came to America and were made slaves. So thorough knowledge of self, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, means that we cannot allow ourselves to just read the accomplishments of a slave under a slave master for the shortest month of the year. Every parent, every mother, every father, every adult has the responsibility to, number one, feed the mind of us as adults a heavy diet of self-knowledge that produces self-love, that causes us to do for self. And make sure that every son and daughter, niece and nephew, grandson and granddaughter, always keep in front of them something as an assignment, a system of reward that they can be able to engage in by learning about people that look like them, that accomplished great feats in the past. Because there's something about knowing about people that look like you, that accomplished great feats in the past, that has a subconscious effect where the young Black psyche begins to say, well, wait a minute. If they're Black like me and they could do that back then I'm Black too, and I can do it now. In fact, I can do it even better because King Tut, he ruled Egypt at 14 years of age, and he didn't even have a Wi-Fi signal. He didn't have Instagram. There wasn't no smartphones out back then. I got all kind of technology at my disposal. So whatever King Tut did, whatever Denmark Vesey did, whatever Shaka Zulu did, whatever Nefertiti did, I can do it bigger and better than what they done it. That is the science of a thorough knowledge of self. And do you know, my wonderful, beautiful brothers and sisters of this great city of Annapolis, Maryland, do you know that whenever self-knowledge is mixed, when self-knowledge and Black love are mixed together, the synergism of knowing self and loving self is what produces Black excellence. So when you got Black knowledge and you multiply by Black love, it equals Black excellence. And the offspring of Black excellence is Black power. This ain't Black power. holding a fist up in the air. That's not power. That's a symbol. Real black power comes whenever we have schools that we create a curriculum from, that we own and operate. Real black power is whenever we provide for ourselves good products and services that are essential to life in the black community. That's what black power looks like. Real black power is whenever we love our brothers and sisters the way we love ourselves. Real black power is whenever we can look and say that we want to achieve something, and all we have to do is say be. And the next thing you know, there's a cadre of like-minded sister soldiers and brother warriors that join on 6, 8, 10, 12 deep, and we all invest our time and our talent and treasure, and we begin to build stuff for self. That's black power. And that is the product of black knowledge, black love. It produces black excellence that ultimately leads us to black power. Now, this same enemy, these same rulers of this planet that want to teach us how to hate self and teach black hatred of self, these same white people are the ones out laid out in the sun in Florida right now trying to get brown. These are the same people that you go into the drugstore today and go down their lotion aisle, and you'll see man tan and copper tan and spray on this and brown in this and instant tan and pigment activate. So they want us to hate being black while they're trying to be black every day of the week. No, James Brown said it like this. And when he said it, you know why he said it? Because he had a Muhammad Speaks newspaper in his hand. He knew about the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And he said, say it loud, I'm what? I'm black. And I'm proud. We need that kind of spirit again. We need that spirit where we operate from the black of the berry, the sweet of the juice. We need that kind of spirit where we move in the world as if melanin is our superpower, because it is, if you understand the science of it. This enemy, these Caucasian rulers, they have tried to subliminally program us to love white and hate black self. Do you know, if you looked in the dictionary and you looked up the term black, out of 120 definitions that black are attached to, or black is attached to as an adjective, almost every last one of them are negative? Look in your same dictionary and look whenever white is an adjective. And then you look up white, and 134 different definitions attached to white as an adjective, almost all of them are positive. In folklore, you remember whenever you lost that little tooth that first time, mama told you stick that tooth under the pillow. No, maybe y'all didn't do that in Annapolis. Maybe y'all didn't do that in DC.
We definitely did that.
I don't know, maybe it's just a Midwest Negro thing.
No, that's everywhere.
We definitely did that,
Is
brother.
it everywhere?
Yeah,
everywhere.
that's everywhere, brother.
But I remember putting my little tooth under the pillow, and they told me that if I did, the tooth fairy was gonna come and leave $1 under the pillow. A little miniature white girl in a Victoria's Secret lingerie outfit with some chicken wings off her back was gonna. Y'all remember that?
Yes,
Yes.
we do.
But the programming as a baby is that a white woman is going to be the one that brings the reward whenever you have a loss. Think about the psychological effect.
Wow.
Then whenever we were taught where love came from, we weren't taught love from Bible, Quran, or divine love from God, or God is love. We was taught that no, whenever it's time to fall in love, don't worry about it. It's gonna be a little naked, little
Cupid.
white, chubby little baby that's gonna fly out of space, born. the tooth fairy's chicken wings again and gonna shoot you in that with an arrow and love. So now love come from white people.
Wow.
Then whenever we were driving down the street on a day whenever it had stopped raining and the sun came out, the moisture in the atmosphere, we would look up in the sky, and mama, she didn't offer us a scientific explanation. She didn't tell us that the sun, which is 853,000 miles in diameter, 93 million miles from the earth, burning at 14,072 degrees, sends a ray of light from its surface to the earth's surface, and it can arrive on planet earth in 8 minutes and 20 seconds or 500 seconds flat, because light is traveling at 186,000 miles per second. And when that light begins to leave from the sun, there are 58 different facets of light. And depending upon which facet of light strikes the moisture in the atmosphere that remains from the rain will determine what color we'll see. Mama didn't tell us no scientific explanation of the rainbow. She said, baby, there's a pot of gold.
It's a pot of gold at the end.
At the end of the rainbow.
Yes, sir.
And guess who's there? Oh, guess who's there guarding the pot of gold and owns the pot of gold? Wow. It's a little miniature little white boy in a green outfit, a leprechaun.
A leprechaun.
It didn't stop. Then they kept on going with Santa Claus. Some fat imaginary white man from the North Pole in a tricked out fireman suit. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but why does all Santa's reindeer, why do all of them have stripper names?
Oh, man.
I mean, just an observation. And every time it's time to Santa Claus' favorite words was ho, ho, ho. Okay, I'm going to leave it alone.
Hey, talk to him. Talk to him.
I'm going to leave it alone.
Teach, please.
But what we don't understand is that inside of the prefrontal cortex, beautiful brothers and sisters, is where our logic circuits rest and reside. And even though this is folklore and this is what is considered child's play, the brain, using its logic circuits, begins to connect the dots inside the mind. And what ends up being the product of a tooth fairy leaving money under the pillow, or Cupid being the source of love, or the leprechaun with the pot of gold, or Santa Claus being the one that answers all of your wishes and your prayers, is what happens to the black mind is we become programmed to believe that relief, wealth, peace, gifts, and prayers will be answered by white people. None of the stories show black people in folklore. This has caused psychological damage. And then you multiply that by every time Moses has been represented to us as been a white man. All the prophets were white. Angels have been white.
Wow.
The picture of the Last Supper, Jesus is white. The disciples are white. Mary Magdalene is white. Everybody that is biblically great is white. Everybody historically great we've learned about was white. Everybody that we even learned that was great in the imaginary world was white. So hell, we don't have no outlet. Open the Bible and it's all white people. Let them tell the story. Look into the world of imagination and everybody great is white. Look into history. We didn't learn about Imhotep. We didn't learn about King Tut or Mansa Musa. We learned about Thomas Jefferson. We learned about Plato, Aristotle, and Socrates. We didn't learn about ourselves. So we have to have a thorough knowledge of self. We have to have Black history 365 days a year. You don't even have to work hard no more. But every morning you wake up, Google a Black fact. Google a Black inventor. Google something that gives you some pride and esteem in your ancestors that accomplished great feats. And after you read the short write-up, of whoever you have looked at from the past that looks like us that was great, remind yourself that if they could do it on that level back then, I can do it on a greater level right now. And let's go out into the world in the spirit of Black love. I close with these words. In the Bible, there is a breakdown of some of the ingredients or some of the practical application characteristics that demonstrate love. And I'm just proposing this to us, that as we move and navigate through the world, that we start showing these principles and exhibiting these traits to our mothers, our fathers, our children, the elders in our community, and every Black person that you run across in life. It says in 1 Corinthians that love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. Love does not demand its own way. Love is not irritable. Love keeps no record of being wrong. Love does not rejoice about injustice. Love rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up. Love never loses faith. Love is always hopeful. And love endures through every circumstance. Man, I'm telling you, if we can start operating, treating each other like that, it's only a matter of time before there will be Black Wall Streets in Annapolis, in DC, and in every city in the United States of America. And it's only a matter of time before we become the new and perfect people and the new and perfect rulers of the planet that God came to make us. Thank you so much, sisters and brothers. May Allah bless you with another month, next month, of a great Black History Month, and keep it going all the way till December. And then on December the 31st, the last day of Black History Year, when you wake up on the 1st of January, start Black History
Start
Year
it
all
again.
over.
Do it again.
Thank you all. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Thank you. Thank you so much. Everybody who is tuned in to Brother Nuri Muhammad, he has The Black Woman, The Second Self of God, his book available now, and Black Manifest, Volume 1, book available now. Always teaching, always loving, as the Bible say. If we love in that way, will we be all right, right, Brother Nuri?
That's right.
We would be all right if we did in that way, but it also teaches us that when you open up the dictionary, right, you look up the word black, what does the word black mean?
Yeah.
That ain't what we are. That's
right.
not what we are. That's not who we are. So I am an advocate of teaching who we are and accepting who we are as Black people, as people becoming and overcoming all of the obstacles, all of the barriers that was literally intentionally placed in our way, that we just pushed on through, and we still doing that. And that is only by the grace of God. It's only because we are that kind of supreme people. And until we know that and we accept that and know who we are, we watch your teachings and the teachings of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, we would get the knowledge that we need to endure. I believe that. I appreciate you. Thank you.
I just want to say, Brother Nuri, I appreciate your messaging, your delivery. This is my second time hearing you speak. The last time was last year or 2 years ago at the Stand Center when you came down to Annapolis.
When he spoke about women, I'm just saying.
She brought that up on camera and she won't let it go. But I'm actually going to take that opportunity to ask you, obviously we see the title of your book, but is there any messaging that you could add to from what you said last year to what Black women might need to hear now? National Black Women's Month is coming up next month. Every month is something now. They're giving everybody months. So what messaging would you want to, like, maybe an excerpt from your book or something you might want to leave the people with to encourage them to go check out your readings or your writings?
Well, this, of course, I have 5 books out right now, and an album, and of course a lot of lectures as well. And if you just go to NuriMuhammad.com, you can get a link to everything. But the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said this as it relates to the value and important and the matchless beauty of the Black woman. He said this, that when you teach a man, you teach an individual. But when you teach a woman, you teach a nation. He said that the woman, the Black woman, is the first nurse, the first doctor, the first teacher. And the ministers took it to another level. He said, look, he said, mama is God in baby language. So for any of the sisters, specifically the sisters, you have to command and demand respect as you move in the world by the way you show respect for yourself. Absolutely. When a woman really knows her value, she'll stop giving herself to men at a discount. Yes. When a woman really knows her value, she comes off that clearance rack.
That's right.
And gets back behind the glass where all the real valuable stuff is at.
That's right.
And when a man understands that you can measure to a great degree the greatness and the goodness of a man by the size of the smile that's on the woman in his life's face, then I think that we'll be able to have a better, healthier relationship with one another. But, you know, come and shop and get whatever you can that we've done. And most importantly, if you like anything that I had to say, you're going to absolutely love what my teacher has to say.
Absolutely.
So get all you can from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I thank you all so much for putting this program together and inviting me to be a part of it. Hopefully, we'll be able to be together next year.
Yes.
Live and in person.
Yes.
And maybe even get a chance to hug each other.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that feels like no more.
Too much social distancing going on.
It'd be good to be able to reconnect to the family there. You all are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
Probably the strongest follow-up team for the principles that were displayed at the Million Man March, the Justice Else movement, the Millions More movement, and the Million Family March. You all are the strongest follow-up team with the Annapolis Loc that we've seen in all of the states that's in the United States. Stay strong. Keep up the good work. Love y'all.
Keep blessing us, brother. Keep it
Love
up. Keep
you
up
too.
the work.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Nori. Send out love, the Annapolis LOC, sending love, please, to the brother, Minister Louis Farrakhan.
We will do. I'm here now. We just left him, and I'm in Chicago right now, and he's doing good. He's in good health.
Yes.
And he's in good
All
spirit.
praises due.
That's a blessing.
All praises due. Thank you. Thank you much. All right, y'all. I told y'all that the Brother Nori was going to bring a good word.
Big Jim.
Assalamu alaikum. I thank you all the time. By the grace of Allah, we've been going at this with you in particular consistently, probably for the last 3 years. And we usually go into the juvenile institutions as well. When he comes and do this work on this end, we greatly appreciate you. We love you. And may Allah bless you with his choicest blessings with you and your family. You bless us every year. And I wanted to give a shout out because one of the brothers that's on the panel is Brother Harold Mo Lloyd. He said,
Yes,
yeah,
did a
that's the
fine
brother.
job.
That's the brother who told me. He said, "Man, I study his teachings. I want you to know that." And he's there listening to you as well. Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you.
Man,
100%.
I told you, man, you made my day hearing you talk with so much strength, and anything that I could ever do to help you, don't hesitate. Bro, Troy got my contact information. Hit me anytime. Whatever I can do to help you out. You got a bright future, and you are a natural born leader.
That's right.
And let's talk so we can help.
That's right.
I got you, brother. We'll be in contact with you. Once again, appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Love you. May Allah bless you. Happy Savior's Day.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Alaikum salam.
Allahu Akbar. Is that, what time is it? Yeah, we still on, right? We want to thank all the listening audience, and of course, we thank Brother Randy. And we got he didn't come; he came incognito, and that's our brother Bishop Palmer. I didn't even know who he was; he was so covered up. You know what I'm saying? So we thank him for his presence. We thank for all the panelists. Brother Harold Mo Lloyd, I love you, man. You do a great job. We thank you for answering a call every time I ask and request for you. Mm-hmm. We thank Brother Carl Snowden for his consistency along with the wealth of knowledge that he has for all of us to receive. Of course, we thank Brother Nuri, and I can never leave out our consistent brother and sister that not only answer the call for Black History Month, but if I'm going into the juvenile spots, they're there as well. If we got Annapolis Family Day Festival, they're there as well. And he don't ask for one dime. He just come to serve the people. That's Brother Kojo and Sister Devon Daniil. They deserve a round of applause of always giving a message. So look forward. This year, God willing, if it's open up, we will have Annapolis Family Day Festival live in person, God willing. And of course, we'd like to thank the brother behind the scenes is doing his good job, Brother Randy, as well, Brother Randy Curtis. And on behalf of all the LOC members, we're small, but as we know, dynamite comes in small packages.
That's right.
And as long as that we are united, we can stand, and divided we'll fall. And by God's grace, our unity is that which produced all that you have saw us do in the Annapolis LOC. So I close thanking the number 1 and 2 persons in our presence, and that's the magnificent Diva Divorce and Eric Buddy Davis. Diva already is LOC. Now we're adopting you totally, Brother Eric, as LOC, because y'all bring flavor to anything that we have, and Black people ain't nothing but flavor. And if can't nobody do it, y'all two do it the best. By God's grace. So we love you. May Allah bless you. And we thank everybody in the listening audience. Spread the word, because I think this is shareable. Spread it, spread it, spread it. United we stand, divided we fall. And we plan to stand in Annapolis and beyond. Peace be unto you. Assalamu alaikum.
Peace. Wa alaikum salam.